Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and as promised for Ghosttober, I am bringing you a lot of psychic readings and psychic insights of places that are haunted or have been known to be haunted. I promised that I wouldn't do another paranormal investigation, so I didn't really, but I don't live very far from Goliad, Texas, which is known for the Presidio La Bahia, which is for those of you that are not aware, it is in a small town with the population is kind of like roughly about 1,900 maybe. But it was built back to like 1747. It was a fort constructed by the Spanish army that became the nucleus of modern day city of Goliad, Texas. Okay. And so it was built in 1749, and I'm going to read you a little bit of the background of it. And before we get to the footage of my paranormal kind of tour insights that I see when I was there. Today, the Presidio is probably the most famous for part it played in the Texas Revolution, namely the Battle of Goliad in October 1835 and Goliad Massacre in March 1836. It was restored in the 1960s and became a National Historic Landmark in 1967. Okay, and so basically founded in 1721 on the ruins of the failed French Fort St. Louis, the Presidio was moved to a location on the Guadalupe River in 1726. In 1747, the Presidio and its mission were moved to their current location by the San Antonio River. By 1771, the Presidio had been rebuilt in stone and had become the only Spanish fortress in the entire Gulf Coast of the mouth of the Rio Grande to the Mississippi River. But here it is. Here's the part of it. The Presidio was captured by insurgents twice during the Mexican War of Independence by the Republican Army. Basically, what happened here is, for those of you that are not aware of it, during the siege of the Alamo, a lot of you know that the Alamo's in San Antonio. Texian Commander William B. Travis several times asked La Bahia Commander James Fannin to bring reinforcements. Although Fannin and his men attempted a relief mission, they abandoned the attempt the following day. After the fall of the Alamo, General Sam Houston ordered Fannin to abandon La Bahia. He did so on March 19, 1836, but took a leisurely path following the Battle of Toledo. The La Bahia garrison was captured and imprisoned in the Presidio. On March 27, 1836, the Texan captives were marched outside the Presidio walls and executed at an event known as the Goliad Massacre. So today the location is restored. Is a restored historical site considered among the most attractive Spanish Presidio sites in the most attractive Spanish Presidio sites in the United States. And then directly adjacent, through technically a separate property, is the Fannin Memorial Monument commemorating the massacre, which I did go to that as well. So I'm not going to read it all, but if you read through the actual thing, if you go to Wikipedia or so, you will find out, the history of it. Basically, there was a whole army of people that were executed, outside these walls, and also on the inside. There was a lot of people that died, etc., and I pick up a lot of those insights. The place, okay, for those of you that have not tuned into when I did my actual in paranormal investigation of Yorktown Memorial Hospital, you probably would not have known, that I had done that, but that was my first official paranormal investigation. And I said I wouldn't do it alone, and I did this one, but I was not alone. There was a lot of tourists that come in a bus from Taylor, Texas, I believe, the day that I was, and you'll see them in the footage, the day that I went to La Bahia and actually did my paranormal investigation / psychic insights of what I saw. Overall, the place is filled with death. As a medium, as a physical medium, I did feel, pressure, not on my chest so much, but more on my back, lungs area. It was a very heavy energy that I could feel Now, not everybody is going to feel it the same. It is haunted. I did hear footsteps while going there. But I'm always about bringing evidence of the paranormal. And so I'm going to try to include a collage of photos that I took of myself in the Presidio La Bahia's courtyard. I call it the courtyard, but it's actually like the battlegrounds, or, whatever you want to call it. And people always say, well, how do you know spirit is present? Like, a lot of times when you're a physical medium, there will be some physical manifestations, and sometimes in photographs you will capture that. Now, this is like the second time that I've captured this before in a photograph. Like with me in the photograph, taking like a selfie, there was an area by the church. They have like a chapel there. There was an area there on the wall of that church where there would have been some people, executed as well, or that would have died there. And when I took the selfie, all the background, instead of seeing the brick wall, you only see fog, like a very thick white fog. And then as you go towards the left of the photograph, if you're looking at it from the screen, you can see the fog kind of like dissipating a little clearly, a little bit more, but it's still there. And then I took several other shots with people, tourists that were actually there behind me by the chapel, at a distance, maybe a couple 20 feet, 30 feet away. And you can see them, but not clearly, at all. So then I turned my camera around and I just took photos of those same locations where I had taken my selfie as the backdrop. And when I took the photos with my front facing camera, you could not see the fog. It was gone. Now keep in mind that this is an iPhone 11 Pro Max that I used to film all of this. This is a brand new phone. I haven't dropped my phone. The photos are not altered in any kind of way. They're not photoshopped. This is the real deal. And if you ask an expert to analyze the photos, they would tell you the same thing. It was just, very validating, and I'm so glad that I actually captured it, because for me, it's kind of like, it shows you guys out there that are listening, my rays of light, and people that are just new to my channel, or maybe, are just looking for like psychic insights of Presidio La Bahia, that they will actually, see what I saw. I went all around the fort, or whatever you want to call it, the fort. It's a very huge property on the inside, and they have like these elevation, like rock elevated kind of areas where you can get up to the actual edges, like the four corners of the actual property, and you're basically part of the wall structure, but elevated. It's kind of like a little mini fort, and you get to see out into the courtyard, out into the lands that are all around the property. Now, I did see death, like also taking place all around the outside of the property walls. Like there's properties that are kind of vacant, which you'll see on the footage, and I kind of point out where I see like death, and as a clairvoyant, I get to see visions and snapshots of things that people cannot see through the camera. But I haven't reviewed the footage. It's raw. It's unedited. I don't believe in editing anything. Maybe someday if I'm, have an editor, I will do that. But as far as the raw footage of the investigation, maybe you may see something or feel something through there. So viewer discretion is advised. Like I said, I do believe this place is haunted. From my experience there, I didn't feel, like I said, sick. And the reason why my spirit guides were communicating with me, they basically said that the fact that I didn't get sick is because there has been so much time that has passed between, when these soldiers died versus the Yorktown Memorial Hospital, and it's a little bit different. There was constant death, and other things that they have done in that place, other than it being a hospital. And basically, people breaking into the hospital, etc. Here it is managed. They have cameras on the wall, so people just can't like sneak in there and do rituals and do satanic things and things like that. So the spirits are very much at bay. There was a sense of tranquility there. Also sadness, deep sadness. I could feel the women who would have been there with their husbands, with the armies, there, and the children. I could hear children laughter, and then you'll get to see footage of where they would sleep in the bunks. I call them like bunk beds. the I guess they have different terminology. I don't want to get technical, but you'll get to see all of it. And be sure to comment in the comments section below if you see anything in the footage that perhaps I didn't talk about, or maybe that you noticed something or a presence, etc. It's always fun to kind of see it for the first time, because I actually won't be seeing this until I post it on my YouTube channel, all the raw footage, etc. And then you'll get to see my photograph collage of my photographs that I took after I did the tour, of it. And it was basically not a tour, I would say, like more of me just going through the places. And there was a moment, it's so embarrassing, and I didn't edit it. I went in front of the chapel to go in, and I kept hearing like they were having mass or something. And then I said, no. Hello, it's a tourist bus. So there was a tourist talking, but I couldn't open the door of the chapel. So I was like about to leave, and then another guy came, and he was like, he pushed it open, and I didn't try that. So he opened it for me, and then I went in. It was just kind of hilarious. But you'll get to see all of that, and I hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get into the footage. All right, guys, so I'm here at Presidio La Bahia, which has a lot of rich history. And I am going to see what I feel. Well, the temperature change is different here. Immediately I feel like there are spirits here. I'll watch my step here. This is a place where a lot of people come to do tourism. And it's a beautiful day here in Texas, so okay, I'm out in the courtyard here. I guess this would be considered the courtyard. There's a lot of spirits. Just focusing on this so that y'all can see it. It's a beautiful day, real sunny. I feel like there was some deaths right here in this area. Again, not provoking any spirits. I think I'm going to the church here. Let me go up here. This will be interesting. Oh my God. And the church bells go off. Talk about timing. This is where I guess they would watch out, soldiers would watch out for anyone that was coming. This is a barrel cannon. It's funny because when I'm touching this, like I can actually feel the energy that was behind it. Like this right here, looking out, there's a road. That in front is a road, main highway 59 here in Texas. But I feel like this area right here, there would have been a lot of death, a lot of people actually killed here. And out here in the property, like all this area right here, all of it. Very interesting. And that's the gift shop. Yeah, all this area would have had soldiers. There would have been people that died in this area right here that you see in front. All this area. And this, I feel like somebody has been killed in here, or at least would have been shot. That's the church. so beautiful. Very peaceful though. I haven't gone around the whole... There is a heaviness though. There is a sense of heaviness when you get to the church. So I went to enter it, but these were the stewards of Texas. Where's Jessica? Where Jessica? The sacredness of this chapel deserves the reverence and respect. Awesome silence is encouraged. Help us sharing. So I may have to cut off the filming in just a minute, because I'm standing right outside the doors. You can hear people in there. I'll just see. Let me cut it off. Hold on one second. Let me see.
Okay, so the grave immediately to the right, so you walk out the doors, but the technique is correct.
I don't think I can go in through that entrance, so we will try a different entrance. Hi. I try to get in, but I don't know how you get into that church. Oh. You're smart, thank you.
But that whole area out front was a Campo Santo cemetery. And there's several burials out there. There's burials inside of the church as well. About where y'all are sitting, there's a mass grave for about 5 to 6 people. And then further up here,
They have a lot of tourists today.
graffiti was.
I feel the energy of the priest here. Like,
That died and was buried in here. It's just like churches in Europe. The grave people inside the churches, the closer to the home they are, the higher standing you have with the community.
so this is the
All
church.
told, I think between 14 and 17 burials, but those are the only two markers that we still have out there. The 300, where are they? They are buried in the Bosque Manteca, right around to it, but just to the southeast of the Presidio, there's a monument. They're buried at that site near that monument. Okay. They were taken out, shot. The Mexican army tried to cremate them like they did the Texans.
All right, so I'm not gonna go in there further because they're having like a tourism. But we are gonna go through the courtyard. A lot of soldiers would have been buried, killed here. Never take anything from any place that's haunted. So far I haven't been attacked or anything, but the energy here. Is you feel like you're being watched. It's very heavy. It's a place where death has happened, so anytime that there is a location where hundreds of soldiers or people have been killed, murdered, massacred, you're going to feel the imprints of that. Here's like a stable, I guess. A lot of large nails here. Because I'm standing right here and I'm looking out. You just feel it. You can feel the energy. It's very heavy. So I'm just taking a little breather here. I'm going to sit down here. But I'm not going to stop filming or talking. I'm just trying to get some breath here. But those are the cannons that are on display. I feel like people were shot in the back here. Right around here, there would have been some soldiers that were shot in the back because I'm feeling a lot of pressure on my back. Alright, let me go around here so you can get a better picture. These would have been used during that time. A lot of it has been restored though. And the wind is picking up while I'm here. It's so heavy. Okay, so let me go to the barracks. Here's a well. It's so funny because I felt like there would have been some water running underneath here somewhere. And it looks like it's closed off. Right here, it's very heavy, the feeling. Like the grounds that I'm walking on. You can feel like spirits, like since I'm a medium and I feel death, like that's what I feel, shortness of breath. In any other place it wouldn't feel like that. But here it does. Those are really haunted. I'm gonna go there in just a minute. I'm getting my exercise today. It's all enclosed. Notice over there, let me zoom in. There's a cemetery not too far away, so all this place is haunted. Like there's been a lot of deaths here. Okay, this is a large place. I can hear men talking in the barracks where I'm about to go. It's like an old television replaying. I hear them talking about money and food. This is a restroom, so I won't go in there. But before it was turned into a restroom, okay, yeah, these are the barracks, I think. Look at this. This is where they would have cooked food. I hear footsteps. This is where they would have laid down. slaps and rolls. Although not mentioned in official public records of the Presidio La Bahia and Goliad, women certainly played a significant role in this frontier outpost. Wives ran households when the husbands were away on patrol or business. In the absence of school or hospital, women served as teachers and caregivers. Don't let y'all read that. I keep hearing tuberculosis. A lot of the soldiers and maybe some of the children and wives would have developed something in the upper respiratory like pneumonia, tuberculosis, and would have passed here. Like this would have been a place where people would have died, like the sick, the injured, to be kept warm. A ladder. This would have been like an old chimney, home of the soldiers and the families, so. So much death here. All right, we're getting out of here. And I keep smelling smoke here. Like they would have burned things. Like there would have been, maybe from the cannons, the smell smoke from the weapons. I see a lot of soldiers in this area basically tending to their weapons, kind of polishing things. I hear like heavy equipment, like chains being let down on the ground. I know y'all can't maybe hear it, but I can see it. Now notice how that, on that right here in this door, that white little tassel is like swinging. There was no wind until I got here, so spirit is definitely here. Okay, and that pretty much is it. I think I'm just going to this area here. I don't know what's in there. It's like a secret tunnel. They have a lot of boxes and debris, like a storage unit. I see bodies here. Really smell like dead here. Kept hearing footsteps right behind me. Oh my god, the bell keeps, when I said I smelled death. This wall right here, I don't know why, but I feel like there would have been like blood splattered here in this area right here. Like there would have been bodies, people shot against this wall. Quite possible. And then we're going to the last barricade up here. I feel I'm actually doing way better than when I was at the Yorktown Memorial Hospital. Airplane. Bells are going off, airplanes are. Sorry, my camera cut off. From this basic station, I don't think you can see it from here. From this basic bastion, it makes it easy to see why the Spanish chose to locate Presidio La Bahia on this ground. Yeah, the river does run through here. I didn't know that. That's why I felt the water all around, like underneath. That's the birthplace of Ignacio Zaragoza. And I think this about wraps it up. Do I look like Indiana Jones? I am here, and I'm just filming. Decided to wear my cap here. I'm here at this tree. There's a lot of trees here. So, let me see. I'm going to touch this tree. I get a lot of energy right here. Like some women would have been seated here with some children. I see children playing, looking out. The soldiers would have been over there, like way over there in that area, all in that area along that wall. The women stayed closer to this area. So this is me, Psychic Medium Ray. Psychic Medium Ray reporting live from the Presidio La Bahia. And here, guys, are the photos of the ghost fog. As you can see on both, I had a hat, and then without in the background, you can see it's almost like a fog. And then if you look on the last shot on the right, I'm facing the same direction, just maybe a little bit different angle, but with the camera, you don't see anything in the background. There's no fog. It's only when I am in the photo. So just wanted to show you that.